Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this mug wrap. I made it specifically for this size mug, which is 5 inches high, and I think at the bottom it's 2 inches wide. But you could use this wrap if your mug was a similar width all the way down, just by sticking this bottom section slightly different, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute, so that it's wider. But this fits in here nice and snug, and obviously decorate it up however you want. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So if you want to know how I did this, keep watching. Okay, so I've got the ScanNCut already switched on, and I've loaded a piece of black card. So you need one piece of black card. So I'm going to call up the design on my ScanNCut machine, and then I'll show you the elements. I'm just going to go to retrieve data. I've saved the design in my machine. I'm just going to jump to the last page because that's where it will be. So in your design, you get on the left of the file is the actual wrap itself, and you need to cut two, one for the front and one for the back. And on the right hand side, you've got the matting layers. Now if you look at this on your computer, I've put instructions on it that says cut two for this one and matting layers for this one. So I only put the matting layers on the front, so you only need to cut one lot. But if you want to decorate the back as well, you cut two lots of these. So for now, I've already cut my matting layers. I'm just going to cut the base layer. There's a couple of ways of doing it. You can isolate this area off and just cut what's over here. I prefer to go to edit, select the boxes, choose the arrow and select the things I don't want to cut. Say OK, and put them in the bin temporarily, because this is a file that's saved in the machine. So just by deleting them here doesn't mean I've deleted them for good. So now I've got the section that's going to be the front and back. So I'm going to say OK, I'm going to do a background scan, and I'm going to press start. I'm going to go into the wrench and make the background lighter so that I can see my cut elements against the piece of card. And I'm just going to bring this over. I'm going to go edit, object edit, into the plus sign and say I want two, and then I can put them side by side. So if we look at the size, it's 10.77. So if you use US letter size, which is 8.5 by 11, it might be a tight fit, but I think these will fit on your US card in the length. They'll certainly fit on in the width, because yours is 8.5 and our UK A4 is only 8.25. So hopefully they'll fit for you. If not, you're going to have to cut yours from 12 by 12. I can see both of them fit on my piece of UK A4 that I've scanned. So I'm going to say OK, keep saying OK until I get to select and cut. All the score lines are in them for you. So the machine will start to cut your dash lines for you as well, ready for folding. So I'm just going to let this cut. And when it's cut the both of them, I will be back. I may speed this bit up just to save some time. Okay, so that's finished. So I'm just going to remove it from my mat. Obviously you'll have these pieces that came out of here. You could keep them and use them as tags, whatever you want to do. So you've got your two pieces. So I'm going to fold the bottom up and burnish, okay? And then the next score line up, the one just above the archway, I know you can't see this here on black card, that's going to be a mountain fold. The next one along is a valley fold, which means you fold it towards you, and that's the front. And you do the same with the back. So you've got mountain, mountain, valley. Now what you could do if you wanted to do, you could go into Canvas Workspace or go into your machine directly, and you could put a couple of little holes in, you know, the design before you make two of it, and then you've got punched holes to add your ribbon. I didn't put them in because I wasn't sure what I was going to do at the time when I made the cutting file. I wasn't sure I was going to put a decoration on top, so therefore I wouldn't need the ribbon. So I left them off, and to be honest, I just used my crocodile to do the one I've just shown you. So that's the front and back as it is now. So I've already got my elements to decorate, which I showed you again in the cut file. I've just pre-cut these to save some time. So I'm going to put some wet glue, and if you can hear Eddie again, he always starts acting up when I start talking to the camera. He's rolling around on the floor and his tail is swishing against the Christmas tree at the moment. And then he'll probably start barking because he'll think it's a noise, and he doesn't understand that he's made the noise with his tail. Anybody else's dog like that? He's actually bonkers. So I'm just going to put that one on there. Now, there's a piece for the bottom, and it's up to you whether you choose to want to use it or not. On this one, I did, just to give it a little bit reinforcement. But before you put that on, you want to stick these two together. Now, the way I've designed this is so that they go together and they line up perfectly. So I know this is difficult to see on black card, but this edge goes up against the fold line, not on it, because you know you don't want to buckle the card when this folds up, but up to it. If your mug is wider all the way down, you could bring this further apart and just put glue in a certain section. But for me, I'm just going to put glue all over here, and I would use a wet glue for this. I just think wet glue is a lot stronger, and especially when you're putting something in it that's got a bit of weight in it. So I'm going to pop this into there like so. I'm just going to fold that over so I know that it's not overlapping that fold, and then I'm just going to give it a good burnish with my bone folder to spread that glue around. So this is how your holder is going to go together. I've just realised that I've not stuck the front bit on, so let's get the frame. As I say, I pre-cut these and I've just put them on my desk, and this bit has just got lost under other things that's on my desk. So that's going to go on there like so. And you want to kind of line it up so you've got a nice even border, and try and keep all your edges of your pattern paper all lined up together. And now I can put this one on as a little bit of extra security, because this paper that I've cut here, this pattern paper, is actually cut on cardstock. Why are you being a buffoon, Ed? He's literally just rolling around like a fool and wagging his tail. Okay, we don't need you to talk. So there is how it is now. So the way I did mine, I put a little bit of glue here and here to hold that together, and then I punched the holes. So you can put your cup in if you want and do it that way. So just a little tiny bit of glue, you don't need a lot. I press this down onto the mug. You're going to need to hold it, you know, for a few seconds to make sure it grabs, or you could put some pegs on it. Sometimes if I'm making boxes or if I'm attaching ribbons, you know, to tags and things, I'll put a dab of glue on and then I'll put a peg on it to hold it in place. So that's going to kind of hold your cup in place now. And then, as I say, you can cut your holes. So I'm just checking my other one. I use the smallest hole on my crocodile. I'm going to slide this out for now. I knew that was going to pop open. Just pop this together and hold it till it grabs. And then just put a couple of holes with your hole punch of choice, Or as I say, you could add a couple of holes in, you know, directly on the machine or in Canvas Workspace, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to try and feed this through now, which is never easy when you're on camera. I'm going to get a pokey tool and see if I can poke that through. And then you just want a length of ribbon long enough to be able to tie your bow. Or as I say, you could leave this bit off altogether, it's entirely up to you. I think it just makes it a little bit more finished, and it just, you know, gives you a bit of extra security for holding it together. But that's, you know, entirely up to you. So I'm going to tie my bow. Snip my tails, and then I've just got a cutout that I got from Scrimping Mummy, which was a free giveaway that she gave on her Ko-fi. Just going to get a small bit of 3D foam for there. So I'm going to pop this on the bottom. So I've just got the 3D foam on the bottom. Oh, I've put that on the wrong place. That's what you get when you're working backwards. Needs to be on here. So I've got a small one so it just hold on to here, and a couple so it sits like so. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put them, you know, so that they stay relatively flat, and I'm going to add like diamond glaze on elements just to give it a little bit of shine in places. You could go over, you know, your design with a wink of Stella, something like that, and then just slide your cut back in gently, and that's how it looks. And I think it's a nice way to gift it. You could put some cellophane around it, put a bow on it, you could leave it just as it is, you could wrap it up in wrapping paper, you know, whatever you want to do with it. But it's just a nice idea if you're giving, you know, a cup or a personalised mug or something like that. There's lots of lovely mugs out at this time of year. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas mug, could be anything. But, you know, if you're gifting a mug, you could put treats in that mug before you slide it into here, you know, because they're not really gonna come out if you add that little bit of glue on the inside of this section here. It just holds that all together, and that is nice and secure in there. And as I say, you've got that extra bit of stability because you've got 3 layers of cardstock. You've got the 2 layers of cardstock here which I glued together to form the wrap, and then because I cut this pattern paper in cardstock, which again is part of the freebie that Scrimping Mummy did with the cutouts, and I just cut these out with my ScanNCut. You know, so you've got that extra security, if you like, in there. So that's how to assemble and put the wrap together. The wrap is a cutting file. As I say, I made the cutting file specifically to fit this size of mug, but you could adjust it if you want to. Anyway, that's today's video. I hope you like it. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.